Okay, it looks like I'm live here. Let me get you over to me. Hey, what's happening? Okay, just a quick live. I was working on some stuff and I thought I would share this. Sorry, I'm dying here. Let me get a drink of Coke. How's it going? Okay. This has to do with MPC software. If you're not interested in MPC software, then yeah. But let me get you over here to the left. Let me bring it up. What I wanted to mention was I never use the export MIDI. Up here you can come down here to sequence and you can say export as MIDI. Let me see somewhere down here. Export as MIDI. And I never do that. I always would just go ahead and literally, I want you to come back here. I'm learning here. I'm learning to be live. I would actually go, because I'm so old school, and nothing like this ever used to work. Like in the old, if you remember Cakewalk or even some of the earlier stuff, it would be like, no, I'm just going to go copy all the notes and I will create a track and copy it and give it the same instrumentation and paste it in there. But I'm finally learning this MPC. I said, no, I'm going to export it as MIDI. And it worked really good. I got over here in Finder, so you end up getting a nice MIDI file. Let me see if I can show it to you. Let me take you over there. Okay, let me see what I got going on here. Albums. Let me see, where was it? What am I working on? The Interior Castle, Interior Trials, the Outerlude. Yeah, here. And so you'll see original start, and that's why, I wanted it, because I had originally started this thing on the MPC, on the actual physical device, years ago. So anyway, I have these old files, and I wanted them in this new. I had started a new one, but then I was like, no, I kept opening the old one to look at it. And if someone knows this, because in MPC, Logic Pro, you can open multiple projects. When I open something in MPC, and I think it's because of the sound libraries, you have to it'll say no, you can only have one open at a time. Anyway, original start MIDI, exported it as MIDI, and then you just drag it in and it works great. It really worked really awesome. It was nice. It was killer. But let me think. Oh yeah, okay, so that's the piece there. Well, that's part of it. But stop. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and so here I'll take you into the screen left. Let me take you over here. Is, you'll create. So like here I am from song. This is the new one. So you can see there it is, and there's new arpeggios, new violin lead. And then here's the old one, violin lead and arpeggios, and one of these is even a supporting. But long story short, if you look at violins lead, there it says string violins LP, and you'll see that also down here in there. I really should learn to zoom, but let me see. No, I'm not going to try. I'm going to screw it up if I try and zoom. And I'll try and zoom next time. I'll learn to zoom. Long story short, you'll see it there. Strings MPC 60 strings. It's the string violins LP. And that's strings violins LP, I'm sorry, right down here. And then also this one, the new arpeggios, used to say the same thing. Like look at these two. Here, I can show it to you here. Look at the old arpeggios. String violins LP. You go to the violins lead, also string violins LP, all of them. But the new arpeggios now has one string violins LP dupe. And the reason you do that is because you'll notice that, so I have the arpeggios and then I have the lead. Well, I want to listen, I want one to be quieter. So I go turn the volume down. Well, I'm turning both down because there's really only one violin's volume for all the violins in the world. So you have to create a duplicate of it. You just come in here when it's up. So when it's at the old one, so if it was here, violins lead like that, you come up here to edit, and let me see, what is it? Program, duplicate to new track if you're smart and did it before you created the new track. If you're like me and you already created the new track and you just use the same instrument, then you say just duplicate and it'll give it to you. I think it just called it strings. And then I renamed it to be String Violins LP. So just because I wouldn't forget what it was, duplicate. And so that way each can have their own volume now. You can adjust the volume here, and then I can also come over here to the lead, violins lead, and it can also have its own volume. You know, so I can bring the violins up real loud. Or quiet. And that's actually what it was, is I wanted to bring the violins quiet because I was like messing with the arpeggios, and I'm like, why are they so damn quiet? But anyway, so those are my 2 points. One was to duplicate the song over there, and to use that export MIDI. That worked pretty well for me, and that was pretty nice. I'm not an expert on the MPC software anywhere by any means. I consider myself more of a my videos are more usually about composition and about how to write music and stuff. But this is just something that used to bite me a lot. That volume thing, it would be so funny. You know, I would be a little stretched out, little high, and I would be like saying, why? What is happening? I don't understand. I changed the volumes and everything gets quiet. So that's why you have to duplicate the thing. I'll take you back out to the Magic Theater and play you off. I hope I taught somebody something, and I hope that was valuable. Anyway, I'm Strider QED. I write music and do crazy shit. And that was my little MPC thing there. That's a piece I'm working on. Use export MIDI. It worked really well, and you could just drag and drop it in, and it really worked well. I would like to know why I can only open one project at a time. Question out. And then also the making duplicates of the sound, of a sound library that you've imported, so that you can have separate volumes and separate controls in each instance of that sound, you know, a violin or whatever it happens to be. Like I said, I'll take you out to the Magic Theater, and believe it or not, that is actually a room. That is not a picture. And I will play you off. And then have a good night.